universe is filled full of tightly packed white hole tendrils. So every square inch of you is surrounded by a black hole. The white hole end. That's why we never see white holes, because they're actually always in front of us. There's that many black holes in the universe. The universe has existed for all of eternity. It never ended. So this is a part of the structure, the very fabric of the universe, of the multiverse, actually. Because this is the solution to string theory. It's not complete yet, but I completed it. It's the solution of the many worlds theory. So, the reason why the universe appears to be, so here's the thing, it was evidently proven to be not locally real. Because the photons entangled were detected to not be equal in state. Like, if you have a photon oscillating side to side, you would expect maybe the opposite, up and down, or an opposite, from what I understand. So you would expect an even amount of result between observing particles, photons, from observing photons, but the result comes out to be unequal, getting a slight curve, therefore suggesting that supposedly the universe is not locally real, because there's an alternate state of photons. That is correct, but it is also incorrect to say that it's not locally real. Because that point in space-time has already occurred. And that's not, and if you picture a linear curve, okay, you can consider this as locally real. It's still in our dimension. Just like Einstein said, do you think the moon doesn't exist if you don't look at it? He was correct. But the discrepancy will come from dark matter. Just walking, you create dark matter. It's the past. It's the future. And you are the present. This is our dimensional plane. Now, what I call white hole tendrils will come out of the black holes. And those tendrils can be targeted. I think maybe easier than micro black holes, because it provides something for a quantum computer to locate, to target, to lock onto, as I hypothesized. When targeting dark matter, you will have a signature. It will have a specific signature for that space-time. It's as I said. From there, you should be able to back extrapolate. You should be able to, yes. You should be able to predict the signature. You should be able to detect it. And if you predict it, it should be where you detect it. And you store the signature where you travel and you test it first. But after the energy exponentiation, you then use that to target local first. Dark matter through a tendril. You're stabilizing a white hole from a micro black hole. I just figured that out. But it's released, the discrepancy is released in what? Hawking radiation. That's why you never see a white hole, because white holes are here already. That discrepancy comes from Hawking radiation. That is the non-real part. So it's partially correct, but it's not correct at all. The universe is locally real, and you're receiving a discrepancy. It's not. It's not what the fish sees from in the fishbowl, which is, how could that be real? I don't understand. It's not possible. No, the universe is still locally real, and there's an explanation for it. I just gave you the explanation for it. And whomever said the completion to string theory, the solution to it, would appear so evident that it would hardly need scientific clarification of some kind or whatever, or further testing or something. But here's the thing. It is not observing. It is not observing that determines the state of a photon. It's not measuring that determines the state of the photon. Okay. You're only thinking about your relative experience. And that's just it. That's key. That's it. Because the state of photons are determined circumstantially, not just when you take a measurement of one. Throwing a rock behind your head and not seeing where it goes will create a locally real measurement or event in space-time as it occurs, and then it will leave locally unreal through dark matter. Reason being is because every event, think of space-time, how their duality. In effect, you have cause and effect, okay, right? The effect is the result of the experiment, but the cause is the interaction with string, in string theory, like a chemical reaction. The very act of I want to measure or I'm measuring, it acts on physical space-time. That's your signature. Just throwing a rock behind your shoulder, it is an act. It is a cause on space-time. It has an effect. So, but these tendrils are essentially like encoding, like a computer, okay? As well. So when you interact with them, you literally do create matter or draw it into existence through those wormholes. And it's infinite, so some photons do escape. That would be your dark matter photon. So I wonder if there's anything different about these photons, something that we don't understand. I hypothesize that could be the case, and it would have something to do with frequency. Those photons may be slightly different. You might want to go look at those, and if I'm correct, it means that if we go through a wormhole will essentially be kind of like translucent, maybe invisible, like entities that you hear on my recordings. Ones that Professor Greer snapped a picture of. What happened when the atom bomb went off? All that energy, light energy. It would have created a cause and effect on space-time that some other advanced species would have picked up on. It would have been a signature read through our micro wormholes, through their white holes. In another space-time, we knocked and said hello. So what they do? They came. That's what happened. I'm pretty sure I just saw time travel. And the quantum computers can store those signatures. Just make sure you don't forget that anti-frequency signature. Now I just realized you should be able to locate the alternative me. You should be able to have a signature that'll take you back to that previous time space just by going through the wormhole. Because then you get that end signature relative to the rest of space-time. And you can store it and take off. You want to test intervals, make sure it's always the same. Then you take off wherever else you want to go. So the grandfather paradox. In this way, you create a new space-time with everything you do. If you undo something, you just create a new space-time, but the other one doesn't go away. It's always, the universe is packed through different dimensions. That's why I call my hypothesis perpetual coexistence in my paper. But it was incomplete. It should have included all of this. That's it.